As British Prime Minister, and we can turn now to the UK, where the former Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson will face the current Foreign Secretary Jeremy Hunt in the contest to replace Mrs May. All the other candidates were voted out of contention by fellow Conservative MPs. The two men will now have to win backing from about 120,000 members of the governing Conservative Party, a tiny percentage of the UK electorate, which is generally much more pro-Brexit than the rest of the population. Well, our correspondent Vincent McAvenny joins us now from London. Hello to you there, Vinny. So we're now down to the final two in what was a very crowded field of candidates. What makes these two men different from each other?
Good evening, Janet. Well, I was in the room when the result was announced, and there was little surprise that Boris Johnson got through, but there was surprise about Jeremy Hunt. He got 77 votes, just beating Michael Gove, who got 75. And there is a lot of talk around Westminster that there's been a bit of dark arts played by Boris's team, that they have been loaning votes out to try and keep certain people in this race, to prolong Sajid Javid in the race and Rory Stewart, to knock out Dominic Raab, and now as well that they wanted to face Jeremy Hunt, not Michael Gove. Of course, there's a history of bad blood between Boris Johnson and Michael Gove, and so the votes that Boris picked up, he only got 3 more votes out of the ones that Sajid Javid relinquished, the 34. A lot of speculation here that Team Boris has used Sajid's votes to get Jeremy Hunt in this competition, so it is a battle between those two men over the next 4 weeks. And if you're looking at both of these candidates, there isn't much to distinguish them. They've both held high offices of state. They're both Oxbridge educated. They've both been MPs for quite a while, and they're both recognisable faces around the UK, but they do have their differences when it comes to Europe. Boris is very much saying that he wants to go on the 31st of October. He did campaign for leave, whereas Jeremy Hunt was in the Remain camp. He has somewhat flip-flopped over recent years, but he's seen as being much softer on Brexit than Boris.
And both men have said that they think they can succeed where Theresa May has failed. Any details on how?
That's unclear. Both men are trying to say by their nous and their strength of personality that they'll be able to get this over the line, but it is going to be very tricky. And they've got to convince an electorate, as you mentioned there, just 0.2% of the UK's population, that they are the man to do this. But I think there will be other considerations at play, because this is the election of a new Prime Minister. Brexit is a top issue. But also, looking at these two men's personal records, there's a lot more of a blemish checkered track on Boris's side than there is on Jeremy Hunt. He recently used an expletive saying F business. That was widely condemned by the pro-business base of the Conservative Party. Jeremy Hunt is someone who set up his own business. He was very successful as that, much more friendly to business. So this small, white, male, quite rich electorate, they might come down on the side of Jeremy Hunt, but it's going to be an interesting few weeks.
Indeed it is, Vincent. Thank you very much, Vincent McAvenny there. And back in